Everyone, it's Glenn Hansen here from BPA Worldwide, and I'd like to introduce to you three of our other speakers today. Glenda Brungard from Trade Show and Event Manager at Hewlett Packard, Melinda Kendall, who's Vice President and GM for Linux World at IDG World Expo, and Skip Cox, President of Exhibit Surveys, Inc. What I'm going to do at the moment for my bit of this session is to take you through an actual audit and show you briefly the information that it would provide to an exhibitor. And then Glenda will speak to it from an exhibitor's point of view. And as this is an actual audit for one of Melinda's shows, Melinda will talk about from the perspective how the audit is used in marketing those services. And then to close up today's webinar, Skip Cox will tell us about a new tool that's available through SEER called the ROI Toolkit, and he'll brief you on how that can be effectively used by exhibitors in evaluating their shows. What I'll do now is increase the size of this Event Insights report. Event Insights signifies that it's a combination of audited data by BPA Worldwide and also survey data by Exhibit Surveys. And so at the bottom of the page, you'll actually see both logos from BPA and Exhibit Surveys signifying that partnership to produce this report. In the middle section of the report are the logistics, the date of the event, where it was held, where the next one will be held. But more at the bottom of the report, there are two bits of important information. The first part is the Statement of Verification Methodology. All shows in the United States that are audited require verification. And that word is defined to mean that the organizer must have some mechanism in place to determine that a registrant actually physically attended the show. To the highly sophisticated, we would know this to be bar-coded badge scanning and so on at the doors, down maybe to something that would be considered perhaps not as sophisticated, which is just simply when you turn up on the day, in order to pick up a badge holder, you have to come and present ID. And in that way, the organizer or the registration company logs in the fact that you have physically attended that day. That information is then audited and enables us to talk about verified attendance rather than simply just registrants. Quite often we hear organizers talk about the number of people who've registered to attend the show. That is not the same as the number of people who actually attended. So on the bottom chart, which is Table 3 or Paragraph 3, Audited Attendee Analysis. Over time, that will build so that you'll see 5 years of history. As the 2006 show was the first show in San Francisco that we were auditing, obviously we're only showing the 1 year of data here. It breaks out conference attendees from exhibit-only attendees, then yielding a subtotal for the conference, which in this case was 6,450. We then talk about other people who are either at the conference or may have walked the floor, which includes people like speakers, media, if there is some sort of special programming attendees. And then the last number represents the exhibitors and non-exhibiting sponsors and their support staff. Now, in the United States, we include both numbers, meaning the attendee number and the exhibiting number, because quite often it is suggested that exhibitors also do business with other exhibitors at a show. And so we feel it's important to show the separate numbers and to have them separate so that there's no question in the mind of the exhibitor if the attendee number also includes exhibiting staff, spouses of attendees, and so on. And of course, to the far right, that yields the net, or I should say gross total, of just over 9,000 people who are physically there. On the inside of the report, as you turn the page, in this case there'll be a two-page spread.